We got a. Do I sound coming in? Sweet.
Not for YouTube, I don't think.
I want you to do 720. I want 1080. Okay.
Well, Carrie said, yeah, there you go. You don't get Carrie. I said, I hope you're not expecting me, are you? Like, I'm unloading the car while I'm eating. Well, he meant in, like, a physical sense. Like,
But, Tunerzedge, yep. Keep it simple. Yes.
oh, wow. Hey, Josh, your audio's not coming through. Just letting you know. Mm-hmm.
Switch to or no? Which is not.
And I got, like, a little echoey effect on my voice. I talked.
God, I think I fixed it. Okay. I don't know what okay, so I did the Windows update. Let's just fucking start over. All right? Shall we? Jesus Christ. The first 4 minutes of people watching this video is going to be me talking and no audio. That's going to be perfect for people that want to catch up. All right, so we've got Carrie's done with the show. He's fired. I fired him. Gary Martin at Tunerzedge. He's the new face on Nerded Up. Actually, he's just a special guest tonight. But he's been on the show with us before. You actually get to see his face this time. But I brought him in because we're going to do our E3 recap and talk about the good, the bad, and the Bethesda. All the things that we liked, we didn't like from E3. But most importantly, I wanted to bring him on because we want to talk about all of Bungie's announcements for Destiny 2 moving forward. All the awesome plans that they have on their roadmap for that game, and then all the other little tidbits that we've been getting even since the announcements. Also, we'll throw Stadia in there because I'm super excited about it, although I shouldn't be. It's just me being like, oh, cool, new technology that I can spend money on. It's going to be great. And then Stefan's like, no, it's not. You're an idiot. Good job wasting your money, asshole. But whatever. Anyway, it's good to see you guys. We tried to do a couple of shows last week, and I'm a massive failure, and I was in Orlando, so obviously it didn't work out, and so we're doing it tonight. But before we even start, go follow us on, obviously, if you're not following us and you're watching us on Facebook, it's awesome that you found that. It's like you're like a treasure hunter or some shit like that. But go follow us on our YouTube page, Nerded Up, and on Twitter, at Nerded Up Pod. And you can follow Gary everywhere, at Tunerzedge. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Discord, MySpace, Friendster, Snapchat,
Ooh, the
social
Friendster,
cam,
though.
yeah, social cam at Tunerzedge on every platform. So go follow him. He and I we work together at Mainline, which is way cooler than just being friends with Stefan. But let's start this off with one question. In the comment section, what did you like? What did you not like from E3 2019, from every single one of the presentations? What were some of your favorite moments? What were some of your least favorite moments? And we'll try to get to as many of the comments as we can as we go through the show. But let's start off with Stadia, because I don't think we're going to spend a whole lot of time on this. But I at least want to talk about it, because that kind of like kicked off. That was like the precursor last week to everything that we got from E3, where Stadia comes out and they have their big presentation, which I missed because I didn't have my Discord notifications on, and everybody at work was gathered together watching this Stadia announcement, and I was sitting by myself in an office working and had no idea. But Stadia looks really, really cool. It's Google's new streaming gaming initiative. I pre-ordered the Founders Edition. But Gary, you start off. Like we kind of watched this together. We talked about this together. What are the flaws and the positives that you see with Stadia as it comes out? And it seems like everybody wants to push this game streaming like it's fucking Netflix. But you actually tried Shadowbox, is what it was called, right? Was it Shadow or just Shadowbox?
It's Shadow Tech.
Oh, Shadowtech. So
Yeah.
so you tried Shadowtech. You've had at least like a small version of this technology that you've used before. So what do you see being the positives, the flaws with Stadia coming out?
I mean, the biggest thing is going to be latency, right? So you're using the internet to play video games on browsers, which is cool. I think Stadia will be great for casual play. As far as for using the esports, it'll be very difficult. I don't see that latency being as high as you'd want it. You'll be that guy that's going to get that peak and get killed because you thought you pulled the trigger quicker, but the other person did. Shadow Tech, when I used it, that was my biggest thing. Was it very much relied on your internet infrastructure, and if your area doesn't have a good infrastructure, it's not going to be solid. I mean, I got Shadow Tech because they're advertising. You can use it on hotel network and this and that, and so if you're traveling, you can still play. I struggled. I mean, maybe me being spoiled of having a good network and a good infrastructure. Trying it, I was like, no, I can't do this. There's too many drops. I think I was getting like 24 FPS. Like it was bad.
That sucks.
Yeah. I have friends, or I have people that are in my clan, in my Destiny clan, that play on Stadia. Like that's how they play, and they play raids with us, and they play Crucible with us. So it may be the way I was using it, because I've seen some of these guys that use Shadow Tech, and they do well. They do okay on Crucible. They don't get wrecked. They keep up with the rest of us. So I don't know, like if they can somehow figure out to work with your internet providers and get them to upgrade their infrastructure, then that could work. But like if you're on Google Fiber, maybe Stadia is the play for you, right? Like maybe that's, or if you're on AT&T Fiber, maybe that's the way to go because you're on a fiber network. But I don't know. I mean, Stadia is gonna be great for casual play. Let me like cross play
or kids. It's gonna be good for kids.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I did like is like if I'm literally playing a game in my living room and my wife walks in and wants to take over the TV because she wants to watch a TV show, I can just pause it and continue. Like that's cool. But I don't think the infrastructure is there to handle it.
All right, Stefan. Could you imagine playing Destiny 2 and doing a raid with Carrie playing on Stadia?
No. And I mean, it just comes down to.
Hold on, time out. What? Even more importantly, can you imagine just playing a Destiny 2 raid with Carrie normally?
Yes, I've done it. I've done it more than you guys.
Yeah, but you hated it.
You guys are awful.
But you hated it. You hated every second of it. Okay, continue. Like you have been the biggest proponent against the idea of Stadia, especially running like them saying that you can run at 10 megs. And I think all your points are absolutely valid. I'm just a victim of valid. I'm just a victim of the moment. And so like I was like pre-order, God fucking get it in early. And so I did that, but now I'm terrified that I spent the money on it, and I'm more terrified when Kara finds out I spent the money on something that might be useless. But so all of your worries about Stadia go.
Well, so the fun part about this is that this is actually where I have a college degree in. Well, like, I'm actually a network engineer, and I can tell you that the last mile, and real quick, what the last mile is basically the last leg that the internet provider has to go through to get the internet to your home. Usually it's considered from the telecommunications box that's linked to your local area where they're delivering and parsing out the bandwidth to everyone in your area,
Right.
is hot fucking garbage all across the country. It doesn't matter that you're on fiber, like Google Fiber or AT&T Fiber. That last mile is hot fucking copper wire garbage. And it can't... The big thing you got to remember in networking is that you're only going to go as fast as your bottleneck, your smallest bottleneck.
Right.
And that's where that's it. You can only go that fast. And homes right now, unless you're in a newer home in a very up and coming neighborhood, and by newer I mean I'm talking last several years, aren't equipped to really handle high speed internet that we should expect. And by should expect, we should be expecting nowadays gigabit or more. But America's just really far behind on that. And it's gonna show up with Stadia. They were on like the E3 floor, and people have played with Stadia. That even the stuff that Google set up and was all through them, and it's like their Google approved setup. There's notable latency, and nowadays with like very twitchy, heavy games with first-person shooters, with your Overwatch, with your Destiny, whatnot. That millisecond makes all the difference between life and death. You can't take the game seriously on a platform like that when you're just gonna die because there's just latency.
I hate that you just fat shamed Destiny by calling it a heavy game. That's a real dick move, dude. How dare you? We're talking about Stadia real fast before we dive into all the other E3 things, and then Bungie's plans for Destiny and how it's going to work. What do you? Let us know in the comments what you guys think about Stadia. And Stefan, continue.
Kyle brought up, was there anything about cross-platforming? Yeah, Stadia is going to be jumping into the cross-platform realm with all the other platforms, and that's another issue. Now, if everyone was on Stadia, and that's what you're going for, that's fine, because everyone's dealing with that delay. That's everyone's playing on that same even playing ground. As soon as you play like a Rocket League with a PC user, or even just a console user, or a Call of Duty or a Destiny, what have you, you're going to get wrecked, and you're not going to enjoy it.
Yep.
And, as I said, I think Stadia is a great idea for people who can't afford high-end rigs and want to play some really nice-looking single-player games, but I just don't think it's going to be the platform for multiplayer or competitive gaming.
And that's really what I think it boils down to. Is it's going to be fun for casual. It's like what Gary said. It's going to be fun for casual players and kids. And that's where it's really going to shine, is for single-player games. Or when you even for hardcore gamers like us, if you have it and you just want to kind of move around your house or play it on your phone or whatever the fuck you want to do, and like you said, you're playing Assassin's Creed and you just want to move around and you just want to chill, it's going to be perfect for that. But I can tell you right now, like, I've never used ShadowTech, I haven't touched Stadia, but I cannot even begin to explain to you how frustrating it is just streaming my Xbox One gameplay of Destiny 2 onto my laptop downstairs on my own home network is. The latency is it's minute. Normally for a normal person it wouldn't even be noticeable, but it's so frustrating to have even that couple of millisecond delay when I'm trying to stream on my own home network when nothing else is going on the network, just from my Xbox upstairs to my laptop downstairs, and it's absolutely insane. So Stadia, we'll see. I bought it. I'm probably going to do like an unboxing video, and then I'm going to do a gameplay video, and then I'm going to do a reboxing send it back video. Most likely is what's going to happen. Or I'm going to do a throw it across the room video, probably.
Did you get the Ultra Mega whatever Stadia version?
Oh, of course I did. Because I'm an idiot. Gary did too. Everybody did. Our entire office, but like 3 people. Or like 2 people, and those 2 people begged us for all the 3. Yeah, shut up, Stefan. Luckily, it's all the people that really have a full understanding of how networking works. So you know what? Screw you guys.
The biggest thing was you get a Chromecast out of it, Chromecast Pro. So at least you get that.
You get that.
Decoration on the shelf over here.
I'll resell it. I don't need a Chromecast at all, literally, but. You know what? It wouldn't be bad because I got a Google Home and I could set that up on something and tell my Google Home to do some shit with it. I don't know. Yep. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out when we get there.
Everything on the TVs with the Chromecast done.
Well, what I was going to say is a highlight for, I think, the Ultra is that Chromecast actually has Ethernet capabilities instead of just Wi-Fi, which will definitely help out a bit, because if you're going full Wi-Fi on that thing, you get the interference going on, and it's not great.
Yeah, your mom has Wi-Fi capabilities. Moving on to E3. Obviously, the Bungie announcements came out before E3 officially started. But I want to save the best for last, because just the best part of all the gaming announcements from the day from the moment Stadia was presented more to us to the end of E3, Bungie was hands down the one that made me piss myself the most, in a good way, not in a bad way, not in I drank too much and woke up and peed all over my wife after New Year's kind of way. No, this was I got so excited I couldn't hold my own bowels in way. So we'll start with E3.
And those are medical conditions.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I can't hold it. But I don't even want to dive into each one of them in particular. I'd like to dive into some specific moments and maybe some specific games that each of us kind of pinpointed. But I don't want to dive into each of the presentations and then beat them to death. Bethesda's was shit. I'll start with that. I didn't dislike the beginning of it. They gave you a lot of free stuff. They might have actually made me want to come back and play Fallout 76 a little bit. Although I found out today that Stefan's getting his awesome canvas bag that I forgot to fucking sign up for, and so I won't be getting my awesome collector's edition bag, and that pisses me off. But Fallout 76, I might come back, but honestly, I just didn't care about that much Doom. I didn't need that much Doom. I didn't need any Wolfenstein. I didn't need any of the other shit. I needed Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6, and they didn't give me that. He literally only said, "Don't worry, we're still working on Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6," and then fucking barrel rolled right past that into Elder Scrolls Online. I don't care about ESO. The crowd at the Bethesda press conference was fucking irritating. So Bethesda to me was an absolute shit show. Was there anything from that press conference that stuck out to you guys? Gary's like, no, absolutely not. It was fucking terrible.
I think it was fine. Look,
I'm done. Bye, I quit.
At the end of the day, they're a publisher and they're just showing their games. They're not a Microsoft, they're not a Sony, they're not a Nintendo. They're Bethesda. And they're showing you what they have and, what they've done and what they've accomplished for their games. I mean, it was fine. There was nothing groundbreaking. Of course, everyone wants to see Starfield. They want to see, Elder Scrolls. If they're not ready to show it, they're not ready to show it. I'd rather have we're working on it as opposed to what they showed last year for Elder Scrolls, which was just like a flyover of a JPEG and saying it's happening.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fair.
we get it. It's in the works. If you don't have anything to show, don't show us. Again,
show up. If you don't have anything to show, don't show up.
But they did.
With a bunch of ESO. Oh, Elder Scrolls Blades on the Switch.
Again, look. This is what I have to say.
Yeah.
I said this earlier in chat that we had. It doesn't matter if you don't care about what they're showing. It's not just for you. Just because Game X isn't there does not mean that it's a bad conference. They did show things. They showed that they're working on stuff. the whole conference is just going to be like, this is what we've done in the past year. And I think them putting a lot more work to Fallout 76, I think if they're that dedicated to Fallout 76, it has the capability of being an amazing game. I feel 76 had, potential. It was just squandered. Who remembers fucking Fallout New Vegas on launch? Fallout New Vegas was an awful fucking game on launch, and it took till a year, maybe more, until they released the complete edition for New Vegas to actually take off and now become the fucking beloved game. That one always throws me for a loop where everyone's like, Fallout New Vegas is the best Fallout there is. I remember the collector's editions a month after the game were going for $20 because I was working at GameStop at the time.
New Vegas sucks. I hate New Vegas.
But it's considered the best Fallout now.
By dumb people that like dumb things. Brett is pissing me off in the comments, and I'm going to punch him tomorrow whenever I come back in. I haven't seen you all week, and you got to unleash all in one moment. He said, at least Bethesda didn't promise a show and keep putting it off. I hate you. He also said that the Stadia is perfect for people who think they can outplay mouse and keyboard kids with a controller. I stand by that. Screw you. Brett and I are going to fight tomorrow. Kyle said, why does the audio have an echo? I don't know. I don't hear an echo at all.
I told you the audio had an echo on the playback for me.
I don't know. I don't know why it has an echo. I'm not using voice meter, so we're just going to move past it. I don't hear an echo, so I don't give a shit. That's not how this works. We're doing this for the people, right?
Still an echo?
No, you don't have an echo.
I don't have an echo.
So things that I did like. I didn't really care much about the Square Enix stuff. I didn't really care much about the Nintendo stuff. But Microsoft, I liked a lot. I was full in on the Microsoft press conference, and I think really just because there's so many of their games that are coming straight to Game Pass on release. Game Pass specifically killed it. And then obviously the Keanu Cyberpunk reveal was really, really, really cool. I actually had to go up to the office to get stuff to take with me when I went to Orlando this week. And Keith, Tum Tum, who works with Gary and I, had to come meet me. And I was waiting there for 45 minutes to pick stuff up. And I was watching, and I'm sitting there in the parking garage, in my car, by myself, nobody around me. And when Keanu showed up in the game, I literally started screaming at the top of my lungs and jumping around in my car because I'm a child. There's no rebuttal to that. But it was awesome. So Microsoft specifically, Game Pass, and then the Cyberpunk stuff I thought was really, really cool. The Cyberpunk reveal may have been hands down my favorite moment. I think a lot of people like it because of Keanu. I just thought it was a great trailer, or a great little gameplay clip in the first place. I thought it was a great reveal altogether, even if it hadn't been with Keanu, but that was cool. I know a lot of people like Keanu stepping out and doing what he did, and then the guy being like, no, you're gorgeous. And he's like, no, you're gorgeous.
Breathtaking.
Breathtaking. Yeah, you're breathtaking. No, you're To me, that was a little cringy, but it was fun. It's very meme-worthy, so it was cool. But I thought Microsoft did a great, great job. Stephanie, you go first this time. Gary, you wait.
I was super into the Microsoft press conference. I've heard people say that they didn't show anything, and then I was just like, wasn't there 17 reveals and 40 games total or 60 games total or something?
Yeah, I think it was Star was a huge one.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I've been wanting to play Phantasy Star Online 2 for a while now, to the point that I was going to do a fan translation that's been going around. And to see that being released, I was super excited. Again, it's a game that's 3 or 4 years old, but it's coming to America for the first time, which is a big deal. Mm-hmm. I think the Elden Ring reveal was
forgot about
really
that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. From Software and George R. R. Martin. Yes, please. I'm in. I heard a lot of, we didn't see any gameplay. I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's a From Software game. You know exactly how it plays like. Mm-hmm. You've played Bloodborne. You've played Dark Souls. You've played fucking Sekiro. They're all the goddamn same game.
Dodge and manage energy. Don't die.
Yeah. Don't get hit, because if you get hit, you're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about that one. I have no idea what it's about. I don't care. All we know is that the beginning of the game is going to be absolutely stellar, and then the end of it is just going to be the story is going to be shit. The story is just going to fall apart.
Oh, because it's George R. R. Martin.
Yeah, because it's the Game of Thrones.
I mean, he gives us a reason now why he hasn't like worked on the books.
This game,
like,
hold on. If this game is the reason why he hasn't worked on the books, and Game of Thrones season 7 and season 8 were the way they were, this better be the best fucking game I've ever played in my entire life. Like, if this were the reason why George R.R. Martin did such a shitty job helping them finish the show, and he hasn't been finished writing the books, this game better get a fucking 100 on Metacritic, and nothing will ever beat it. This has to be the greatest game of all time. Anyway, continue, Steph. I'm sorry.
They showed some really interesting things that came out of like left field, which I thought was great. I mean, like that's part of what E3 is: show things that people haven't seen. Lego Forza gives me a reason to play Forza. I'll play a Lego Forza game. I'm not gonna lie on that. Lego Star Wars, like the complete Skywalker saga. Lego Star Wars is. Well, it's a fantastic game, period, for kids and adults. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see what the new games are like. I'm not a big fan of the new trilogy, but I'm intrigued to see how much of the new trilogy is in it. Mm-hmm. They talked about Outer Worlds, and
that looks good.
This is another thing, too, that people aren't realizing. They're like, oh, Microsoft doesn't have exclusives. They're not having exclusives because they're licensing their games out to other companies. Yep. Outer Worlds is by Obsidian, which is now a Microsoft-only company. Well, Microsoft purchased Obsidian.
And Microsoft has Tim Schafer now, which I think is a huge deal with Psychonauts 2 and anything that he could do moving forward. The Outer Worlds looks really intriguing to me. Another reason they're not doing exclusives is because like they've been for the last 2 years completely on board the crossplay train. They're not doing exclusives because their big push, and rightly so, and we've said this for 2 years now, is to let any gamer play with anyone they want across any platform at any time. Like that's their big push. So why would you go get a bunch of exclusives if your big deal is crossplay?
I think they go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You finish.
Okay. You're breathtaking.
No, you're breathtaking. We could go for hours.
I think they see the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
I think they know that this is just like the inevitable future, and what it's going to come down to is like consoles are just exactly like PCs, just without the extra things that a PC can do. Mm-hmm. And what's happening is they're licensing out their exclusives to everyone. Minecraft Dungeons could be an Xbox exclusive game.
Oh, that
and people would buy Xboxes specifically for that. They're licensing it out. They're licensing it out to Switch and probably PlayStation. I wouldn't be surprised. Outer Worlds, again, Microsoft company. It could be licensed. It could be an Xbox exclusive. They're licensing it out to PS4 and PC. Well, everything's PC, but they're licensing it out to PS4. So I think a lot of people are focusing too much on exclusives and just like not the bulk of what's coming out. And people are writing off that Scarlet reveal. Mm-hmm. They're just like, oh, we didn't see Scarlet. You don't need to fucking see what the box looks like. Those stats they gave out are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it all with a grain of salt, but 8K at 60 FPS and 4K at 120 FPS and like special SSD to fucking convert RAM. I'm going to be surprised.
It wasn't enough for me to convert from PC to Xbox.
I
won't.
I don't think that's their push though. I don't think their push is to convert from PC to console. I think their push is for people who want a console with almost PC power. That's what the thing is.
It's always going to be behind though. It's literally going to be almost for.
Here's the rub though. That proprietary solid state tech that can use the solid state as backup RAM is something that PCs cannot do right now.
That's true.
You can't do 1,000 gigs of virtual RAM. So like that could be something. They're talking a no load time console. That's the way to do it. When you have that much RAM available, you fucking store the whole game on like boot up, and you just play it. Mm-hmm. Which is an issue for PCs right now. There's games that I forgot most recently. I think it was Battlefield or something like that. They say when Battlefield's actually running, it's taking up like something like 200 gigs of your hard drive in temporary storage or something like that. It's asinine the way that developers are trying to get around like limitations on RAM right now. But if that's a proprietary thing that they come up with, that's a big deal.
All I have to say about Scarlet is I don't have my wallet because I mailed it to Microsoft already and said take what you need and send it back to me. Okay, Gary, I've been seeing you smile and shaking your head the entire time Stefan was talking about Scarlet. What are your hang-ups with Scarlet, and then what did you like from the Microsoft press conference? As I said, we weren't going to go conference by conference, and somehow I still did that.
120 on 4K? Yes, seen it, done it. So like, what irked me the most about their presentation was the way they presented it, that none of this stuff has ever been seen. And it all has been. Like, all of it.
Not at a home console, though. My $3,000 PC does 200 frames on 4K.
Right,
but not like a $500 or $400 console.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. You say it's like, I don't know.
Oh, you know what it is? No, we got Mr. PC, but Mr. PC man walking into the console world, waving his big old PC flag.
Let's take a look at this PC over here. Let's look at this thing. The side of my fucking tower is a goddamn monitor. Like,
yeah.
It's a monster of a PC. Yeah, like I agree. We've seen shit before, but like at the same time, we've not seen home consoles do it at that price point.
So Microsoft isn't. This is the big thing, and I'll let you finish. I'm sorry. I interrupted you very, very, very angrily and aggressively, and I shouldn't have done that. I almost started standing up and stomping around, but I was too lazy to do it. The big thing with Microsoft is Microsoft isn't fighting against PC. That's why they made Game Pass PC. That's why they want crossplay with PC more than they want crossplay with anybody. But their battle is with Sony. Their battle is with PlayStation. They're not battling PCs because they know they'll never win. And also, it's Microsoft. They own PCs. For the most part, they own the PC world. So they don't need to battle themselves. They have to battle Sony. So it's any claim that they ever make is almost always never needs to be taken as it's going to beat PC. No, it's Sony hasn't done this. It's never before seen means you haven't seen it from Sony. You know, it's their battle is against the other consoles. Their battle's against Stadia because of xCloud. Their battle's against Sony with getting a console out as fast as possible. But they're not trying to fight the PC world. They know they can't. I'm pretty sure they've said as much before too.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'll kick your ass with a controller while you're on mouse and keyboard. I just need you to know that.
I came from the controller world, so I came from the PS4 world and PS3 world, actually. And then I went to PC, and I haven't gone back at all. I even play Rocket League on. But wait, let me take that back. I do play Rocket League on a controller.
Oh, no. Half-breed. That's what you are. Okay, continue. Continue on your Microsoft.
I honestly, I couldn't watch it. The way they were presenting it to me, like, I was like, nope, I'm not watching it. I mean, just this, I was paying too much detail to the way they were saying things, and it was irking me, so I just didn't watch it.
That's your PC bias. So what about games? Some of the Microsoft games that you saw.
The biggest, I mean, Halo. Like, Halo Infinite. Like,
yeah. How did I forget about that?
Picture that they showed with the helmet, like, I was blown away. I was like, I want that as like my desktop background for sure, because it looks so good. And if they're advertising that on Project Scarlet, like, dude, that's gonna be nuts. It really is. You throw that on a big 4K, and it's gonna look good for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the stuff Cyberpunk looked great. Halo looked incredible. Phantasy Star I'm interested in, and then the Outer Worlds. I'm really, really, really intrigued by the Outer Worlds. But anything else from the press conference? Because what were you saying?
Minecraft Dungeons.
Oh shit, yeah. That I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that with my kids. I'll probably end up playing it a lot alone too, and I'm guessing it's gonna be on the Switch. So that looks like it might be my toilet game. So
it was announced on the Nintendo press conference for Minecraft Dungeons.
So you know how people used to put books on the back of their toilets, like really long books, like this is my toilet book. or my bathroom book, or my poop pages. I have that with the Switch now. So Minecraft Dungeons is going to be my poop game. And that's my wife doesn't understand why I'm in there for 45 minutes. Well, I'm trying to clear a Greater Rift, and it's not fast sometimes. Thank you very much. Or I'm trying to clear like 20 Greater Rifts. Shut up. But yeah, Minecraft Dungeons looks really good. Is there anything else from E3, from like the main bulk of E3, that stuck out to either you guys, either good or bad? Gary, that's a no.
Yeah, it was. It
was kind of meh.
Yeah.
I mean,
I honestly, watching like after day 2, I was kind of like, cool.
It was all downhill from the Bungie announcement, to be honest.
Like, the big thing with this E3 is that it's a like end of a generation like conference.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's getting ready. They're holding back all their good stuff for, you know, the console reveals and whatever launch titles the games come with. Sony doesn't even bother to show up. Nintendo's been doing their direct thing for years now. So, I mean, I think my favorite highlight was the Devolver Digital Conference. I don't know if any of you guys watched it.
That's the only one
I missed. My God.
I wanted to try to watch it before we did this, but I never got a chance to.
Fucking fantastic. They ripped into it. Of course, they did not actually have a conference. They did a full digital called Devolver Direct, ripping on Nintendo Direct with like the logo, white background, and everything. And they even pointed out, they're like, these live conferences are done. Like, with straight to video, we're going to like shove with so much like purchase intent that your brain's going to explode. Like, and it was great. Their conference was super over the top, super poking fun at everyone else for E3, and their games seemed fine. Which, it's Devolver; they're a small developer. They announced an arcade cabinet. I was like, that's crazy. Like, I've never heard of an arcade cabinet being announced at E3. They also announced bootleg versions of their own game called Devolver Bootleg, which great, fantastic. The Devolver conference was really a highlight for me. The low point, and I hate to say this, and I'm going to get a lot of flack from people, is the Nintendo conference for me. Mm-hmm. I watched it, and I was just like, this is a whole lot of stuff we've already seen. DLC announcements and stuff, again, that we already knew about. The big highlight was Breath of the Wild 2. We got like a 30-second teaser, and basically they said it's in development. It doesn't have a name. They did that last year for the new Metroid game, and that's all we know, that it's going to be in development. It'll probably take a couple of years. But again, after that, it was all stuff that we had heard about before. They even announced a game delay, which I not usually heard people do in an E3 conference, but whatever.
That's pretty stellar. I didn't even catch that. I didn't even think about it whenever they announced it. A game delay during E3. Yeah, Nintendo was super underwhelming. Most of it was kind of all meh. And to be honest, a large reason why it was all meh for me was because right now there's only one game that matters to me moving forward, and that's Destiny 2. Oh shit! Oh shit! Can you feel that segue in the air? Oh, this is a fucking radio professional over here. I just segued the shit out of that. That was awesome. Okay, anyway. So Destiny 2 moving forward. Bungie makes announcements last week that are just... We're getting Shadowkeep, which is going to be awesome. We're getting armor changes. We're getting all sorts of stuff. We're getting a multitude more seasons. And they have finally embraced the MMO route. Which the last time Gary was on our show, which, by the way, we're joined by Gary Martin at Tunerzedge. You can follow him on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, I believe, Gmail, Hotmail, MSN.com. Follow him. It's at Tunerzedge anywhere you go. But the last time we had Gary on was we had a big Destiny 2. It was after Activision and Blizzard's... No. It was after Bungie left Blizzard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we had a big, like, where the hell is Destiny going to go now? And both of you said MMO. They need to embrace the MMO route. And we just didn't, hey, hopefully that's something that happens. And I wish I wasn't a lazy piece of shit, because I would have clipped that and I would have blasted that on Facebook and on YouTube and on Twitter. And we, instead of having the amazing viewers that we have right now across all platforms, which tops out at about 15, we would have 15,000 or 15 million viewers right now, because we're such prophets. Well, you guys are prophets, and then I'm riding the coattails, but that's beside the point.
We call more than that, though.
We did. We called almost every single thing that they've done. You and Stefan specifically called. I think I jumped in on a couple of things, but almost everything from that show was stuff like, this is what they need to do, and that's what they did. So they're finally embracing the MMO style. And while I pretend that I'm listening and share this out over Destiny groups on Facebook, I need you two to talk about some of the highlights of the things moving forward that y'all are most excited for. And Gary, you start first.
We called the MMO. We called the free-to-play, and then we also said that they would work on some kind of microtransaction, which, to me, I think they did with the Let's Go Crossplay. We called that too, so they have to go crossplay, and get rid of the platform exclusives. We said all that, and then we also said that I think that the microtransaction part of it comes into play with having to you play crossplay. But you want to play cross-play, you got to, for this expansion, you have to buy that expansion on every platform, right? So that's where they're going to put the money is on that, because you're going to want to play, you're going to get used to playing with your friend on PlayStation or whatever, and then go over and have friends you play with on Xbox or have friends you play with on PC, and everyone's going to want to play this expansion. And so you're going to end up buying the expansion on all the platforms because you're like, it's only $40. And the cool thing with it is, it's going to be free, so there's going to be a ton of new people playing. And to some big streamers, they're not going to know how to play correctly. But like, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be huge. They hesitated on answering when they asked about like bringing back D1 stuff into D2, like some of the worlds and stuff. I know we have the Haunted Moon that's going to be dropping, so it's like,
hey, hold on real fast.
Yeah,
Moon's haunted.
Moon's haunted.
Had to do it. I'm sorry.
Moon's haunted.
Keep going. Gary's boycotting us. I threw you off. I'm sorry. My bad.
Dude, straight up meme NASA. NASA was like, hey, there's something on the moon, and they're like, yeah, it's haunted.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. So what? Outside of like, so we obviously we're all geniuses, and we called everything that was going to happen. What things that like? What's the number one thing about what they announced that you're looking most forward to?
Probably the armor respects, like being able to, like, for me, like finding armor, it's such a, like you're looking.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be able to build the way you want it. It's not gonna be, I only have spots, so let me want, it's gonna be, hey, I can buy this mod, let's buy it, and then build up and save up and buy the next mod. I think that's gonna be huge, because for me that's been a big thing for me with Destiny 2 as it is now, is finding all the mods to be able to mod my armor, mod my weapons the way I want to build my character.
Yeah, dude, I think when we were sitting, because you and I were sitting there watching the announcement together, and we're just sitting there geeking out over, it was the same day as the Stadia announcement too. I didn't miss this one. I wasn't late to this one. I knew exactly what time this one was coming on. But we were sitting there watching them explain how the armor was going to work, and that's definitely up at the top, near the top of the list for me, is just, and it really shows that the future of the game is going to be, how customizable can we make the experience for our players? How can we make this to where they can min-max, they can make their character the most efficient, exactly what they want, so they can play it the way that they want. So that one's up there for me. Stefan, Destiny 2, all the announcements that were made, I know you have a ton of thoughts on this too. What's the number one thing you're looking most forward to?
So the number one thing that I'm really looking forward to was actually not in the announcement.
Yeah.
It was in an interview Jason Schreier did with Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy, where they talk about difficulty. And they say that they think historically their game hasn't been difficult enough. And they're like, sometimes, there's a lot of stuff that a lot of players don't see, and it's not necessarily like a difficulty thing. I think the phrase that Luke Smith said is that challenge is the razor's edge that breeds creativity. And he says we want to make our game harder with a sliding difficulty scale and make loadouts matter. And they want you to be able to be like, oh, this gun's kind of like a garbage gun, but in this specific situation, this gun with this perk loadout is going to be really good. Like, it's going to be a must-have. And I think that's awesome. That's something that a lot of old MMOs used to do. There was like fire resistance gear in World of Warcraft, and different MMOs have had like, oh, you need to like run this kind of setup for whatever dungeon you're doing. And I think it'd be really cool to bring that forward to Destiny. And that's really embracing the MMO aspect where like itemization is a thing that matters. Even with the change to Armor 2.0, which is I think a big thing that's going to come into it, and bringing stats back again from Destiny 1, because they did announce we're bringing back things like intellect and whatnot, and just getting into the real minutia of like customizing your character. I think that idea of your loadout is going to really matter, which I think bleeds over into a lot of other things, which I think they'll probably revamp abilities. I don't know if it'll be a launch thing for Shadowkeep, because I think Armor 2.0 is what they're focusing on, but I definitely see a revamp into skill trees, just like a down the road sort of thing. They have mentioned that crossplay is coming, and we're getting cross saving first.
I can't wait for that, man.
Because
cross save, I'm excited about.
But they mentioned it's a manpower and time sort of deal.
Yeah.
Which I definitely see that happening too. I mean, you can only have your team do so much, right? So, we know that they're working on Shadowkeep. We know that they're working on new exotics, Armor 2.0. Finishers, I thought was like a really cool idea. I don't know in what situation or what they do. Like, probably something like give you a bunch of like super energy or something if you pull them off. But like, that's something out of left field I didn't see coming. I think they're really embracing different ideas. It sounds like they're listening to player feedback. That was something that Bungie was always criticized for, that they say that they're listening and then they just went and did their own thing. People are complaining about one gun and oops, fusion rifles got nerfed again, and everyone's just like, what? That's not what we said at all. So it sounds like they're embracing the players. They joked around and they said things went a certain way because of capital R reasons, which is cough cough Activision cough cough. And I think they're in good hands. I think Luke Smith and Mark are driving that train the way it's going to go. Shadowkeep's $35. You can take it or leave it. Don't have to buy it. I think they said all other DLCs will be $10 a la carte. And that's a great, like, a big issue this season pass was people said Season of the Drifter, the all Gambit expansion, was like a low point for them because a lot of people don't play Gambit. Well, now you just don't have to buy it if that's not what you want to do. And I think that's great. I think that's a great way to take the game.
The model for that too is and a game that's done that a lot. And I know there's a lot of games that have done that style, but the one that sticks out the most to me is Lord of the Rings Online. Where Lord of the Rings Online is very a la carte. It's if you want to play the Mines of Moria update or a DLC or expansion, you can play it. But if you don't want that content, you don't have to buy it. I think this not in the same way, because Lord of the Rings Online has definitely done this a little bit different, and it's an MMO. But I think that the Division's kind of done that too, where they've made their content a little bit more a la carte. But to really get the full experience, you have to have everything, but you don't have to do everything if you don't want to. And I do think that that's the best way to go if you want to create this amazing triple A tier MMO experience. Is pump out as much content as you can, and if they don't want to buy it, then they don't want to buy it. I mean, we're all going to buy it and play it. I'm so very excited about cross-save and cross-play, because that means whenever I don't show up to play a raid with Stefan, he won't fucking yell at me on Facebook Messenger, and he can log on to his computer and play with Gary. And I don't have to worry about getting yelled at for not playing the game. But also, if I do want to play the game, which I hopefully will continue to play the game more now, and I have already been playing the game more since the announcement, I can jump on and the three of us can play together, because Gary plays on PC and he plays on PS4. We obviously play predominantly and pretty much solely on Xbox, but now I'm going to buy it on PC. I'm going to buy it and play it on there and switch back and forth. And once they eventually get crossplay in, oh my God, I don't even know. I'm just going to play it on everything. I'm going to cross-play with myself, just because I can, and nobody can stop me.
Monday, different days, different consoles, different PC.
But see, that's what's awesome is not like the greatest part about this, and we brought this up with Stadia, is if I want to play on my PC, I can play on my PC, and I can be up here running it on the PC. If I want to play on my console, then I can move my console to another room. If I'm playing on Xbox and we're about to do something, we're about to do some Crucible, and like, perfect example, the wife wants to use the TV, and I say, oh, it's okay, I quit out, come upstairs, play on the PC, and it makes everything easier. And that's why I love so much that companies like Microsoft and Bungie are doing everything they can to make the most, not the easiest, but what is the most enjoyable experience possible for gamers. And if that makes it like ease of play from you can play it anywhere on whatever you want with anybody you want standpoint and have the crossplay, it's absolutely phenomenal. Or it's you want more storyline, we're going to give you more storyline. You want more endgame content and raid type stuff, you get raid type stuff. We've got the Menagerie out right now that I've still only done one time, and it's absolutely phenomenal. It's so fun. I did it with Stefan the other day before I left for Orlando, and I immediately was like, holy shit, this is like running an old dungeon in World of Warcraft. It's incredible. And if they keep pumping out content like this, and that's what they go down that MMO route, this could end up being one of the best games, the best game this generation and the next. Like, this could be the next World of Warcraft type of game if they build it the right way and they continue down this road. Especially because shooters and FPSs have always been more palatable for the general playing audience than like classic MMOs, classic RPGs and shit like everything else. Like, I think with the difficulty level being raised and the way they're doing it, I do think they're making it a little bit more enjoyable for the people like us who just love playing Destiny, and not so much for your Call of Duty bros that want to pick up the game. But you could get an entirely new group of players with this MMO style FPS, not a shared FPS like they've been trying to fucking do since D1, but an actual MMO FPS. It's gonna be so fucking cool, man. It's gonna be so good. And if they keep coming up with good exotics, I'll be happy too. They've got some good ones right now.
And that was part of that interview that I was talking about. They said they're done making the game for Joe Walmart. Yeah. They're like, they're like, we need to stop trying to appeal to the guy who picks up like the one Grand Theft Auto a game a year, or the one Call of Duty or one Madden. They're like, we appeal too much to the casual gamer. And at the end of the day, that's not who's playing the game. Nope. The player base is the more hardcore, the people that are stick around, they're going to stick around or come back. They know that sometimes that people just take breaks from the game, and they're like, we want you to come back, and we're going to make a game that you want to come back to. Mm-hmm. And that's great to hear. That's great to own up to. They said they felt the game always had kind of a identity crisis, and that it was in a place where it didn't know what it wanted to be. If it wanted to be just the couple hours, play a match of Crucible or something like that, or if it wanted to be the grind fest of a classic MMO.
No.
And I'm glad that they're finally picking a path, identifying what they want to do, and running with it.
Yep, I am too. Gary, what other thoughts on some of the announcements did you have?
I'm excited, dude. I can't wait to start playing again. I've been, moving and painting. That's why I have nothing on the wall behind me. But like, I'm in love with this game. I'm glad they're going down that route of being an MMO. I agree with you on I've said a million times to a million people, like this could be the next big WoW game. Like it really could be. It's wild when you hear the numbers of how many people are continually playing this game. Like. It's nuts. And like you always hear people like, oh, I quit playing Destiny, but then they come back. I mean, you quit playing for a while, yep. And you're back.
I always come back. At some point, I always come back. It happened with Destiny 1 too. At some point, I always come back, and I've just been waiting for them to do something like this. Because for the longest time, they were a part of Activision, and then they were a part of Activision Blizzard, and all that Activision cared about was selling copies. That's why it was built for the general fan. That's why it was built for the generic COD bro, was because it was built to sell copies. It wasn't built to be sustainable. Fucking Activision didn't want it to be sustainable. They wanted it to be something that you could consume enough to where you'd consume it and buy their shit and then move on, and when new shit came out that you'd buy it again. But yeah. with Bungie being the publisher now, and them doing this all on their own, they have all the room in the world and all the leeway to do this however the fuck they want, and they've shown time and time again that they want to do this for the gamer. And it's dude, honestly, you know what, more than anything, it's really, really refreshing in today's day and age where I feel like these publishers, more than anybody, are just out to fuck the gamer's wallet. Like, they just want to lube up and stick it right in the gamer's wallet and hope that a couple of dollar bills fall out along the way. And like, it's refreshing to see them, and they're not the only ones. They're not the only developer. They're not the only publisher that want to do things for the gaming community and really try to build a game that caters to exactly what gamers want. But they're the one developer that's now, since they're self-publishing, has the ability to do it. And it's really refreshing in today's world where like games release unfinished, games release because they just want to sell microtransactions and sell copies. And it's like, that's why we go back to the old games like WoW. That's why so many people still play it, is like they're still putting out content and they're not trying to screw you all the time. Although fucking character race changes are incredibly expensive. I just want to point that out. But WoW Classic's going to be coming out, and then Destiny 2's coming out. I'm not playing anything else. Those are my two games for the rest of my life. That's it. I don't need anything else.
They did say that Destiny's also coming to Steam.
Yeah.
Yep. Destiny is coming to Steam. The one joke that they had during the reveal, and they had when they did the vid doc, was whenever the guy brought up that they had epic conversations whenever they were trying to figure out what platform to go on, and I feel like that was a shot at Epic. I feel like maybe they were trying to go between Epic and Steam, and Epic was like, we want all rights, and they were like, fuck you, and Steam's like, we'll take it. That's fine. We're Valve. We don't care. We don't care. Everybody loves our platform already anyway. Which all of your shit is going to move over to Steam, which is cool. But yeah, I'm really excited with the direction that they're going. I'm really excited with where the game's going. And to be honest, I kind of want to end the show right now so I can go play it. Really. I like you guys, and I like talking to you guys about this shit, but I want to go play the game, and we've been talking for an hour, and that's way too long.
Did you actually get to play I can't even say it. I'm not going to try and say it. Menagerie?
Yeah.
Did you get past the first intro and then actually play a game? Or did you just play the intro?
We played a full game.
Did you just play the first match with all the people that were learning how to play it?
Well, I was in a group with Stefan, so yeah, it was me, Stefan, and then other people that were learning how to play it, and it took us quite a while. And then we had a guy leave, so we only had 5 of us. So it was like Stefan and a bunch of people who had never done it before, and we were down one, so it took us a bit.
You should 100% go back and play it again, and you're going to find out it's so much more fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah. because when I did the first one, we all kept wiping. It was just like dead. Everyone's dying. Everyone's dying. And then we got through it. Then I was like, okay, now let's do this again. And we did it again, and like almost nobody died. It was I was like so much better.
Recently, I've done a perfect Arcborn run, a perfect Crystal run, a couple other perfect runs, like with just random people, and like you're just like, oh man, people learned how to play real fucking fast. Like it was kind of cool.
My name's Stefan, and I've done all these perfect runs because I've been able to play the game. You know, the one thing, Stefan, what is your goal as of right now? What is your goal?
To hit 750 before Carrie even gets to turn on the game.
Before Carrie even gets to turn on the game with the new update. Gary, what light level are you?
Well, considering I literally haven't played it in forever, I think I'm like 706.
Oh, you're still higher than me. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. Stefan is 743.
Yeah, 743.
And I've had my PC packed up for a month, so...
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Whatever. Everybody needs to shut up so I can play and get my light level up. Damn it.
Get you to catch up. You had a whole...
Shut up. We were joined tonight by Gary Martin at Tunerzedge. You can find him on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. What other? Without me throwing out stupid platforms, what all platforms are you on? Where can people find you?
YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Musically, TikTok, Snapchat, Friendster, MySpace, all of them. Pornhub. Yeah.
None of the...
Pornhub's the main one, though. Go check out Gary Martin at Tunerzedge on Pornhub. You follow us, share us out. I'm making goals. I went and bought a dry erase board that I'm going to put on my wall right there, and it's going to be all the goals and things that I want Nerded Up to be moving forward. We're going to have a lot more content coming out. We're going to have a lot more things coming out. Even if we're still just doing one show a week, we will have at least one piece of content in some way on all of our platforms. We're going to try to make a push on Instagram if you give a shit about that. We're going to do more on Twitter if you give a shit about that. And our pillar platforms are going to be Facebook and YouTube. So go follow our YouTube channel. We're going to put clips and shit on there. And then obviously every show is going to be on Facebook, because at some point Facebook's going to get off their ass and they're going to have, quote, built their video platform enough. And once they release it, we are going to be the 160th most popular nerd show on Facebook. So be ready and help us get to 2,000 followers. But as always, we love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Gary, thank you for being on the show. Stefan, you were here. Carrie, fuck you. You're gone. You're fired. And everybody have a great night.